Hey, howdy, y'all. That's okay. Huva ilta. Mita kulu hustonen. Um, I'm gonna hopefully answer that correctly by saying howdy from Houston. I'm gonna show y'all this. Y'all remember Tuesday? I was out here in this same general location, freezing my butt off, layered up, more layers on than I felt like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Yeah, we remember that, right? Okay. Yep, I am still a white boy. Oh my goodness. And I got hairy legs. Really, Net Bob. Hey, welcome in. Yes, t-shirt and shorts. And that's the reason why cold in Houston feels so cold. Because our weather is t-shirts and shorts weather. It was a little above 64 when I started making coffee. We're still under a boiling water thing. So yeah, we got to boil a lot of water. With 3 people, that's actually not too hard. You can keep one pot generally going with boiling water at all given times, as long as you have some sort of way to reservoir it, store it, something like that. Burley Nut, if I could box up a box of the heat and ship it up to Kansas or Finland or Canada or anywhere except for those places south of the equator right now where they're enjoying their summer, y'all know I would. But I have yet to figure out how to freeze dry the heat and get it to release upon contact. That would be the problem. So as far as my house goes, no pipes burst. The only record breaking we had was of how cold it got. There are a few people quite a bit north of me in the YTPC that had pipe breaking issues. And when I say quite a bit north of me, I believe the closest one in the YTPC that lives to me in my general area is about 60 miles north. And that doesn't seem like a whole hell of a lot, but there are times where, quote unquote, Houston is getting 20 degrees, but they're taking that from the North Airport, which is, as the crow flies, about 45 miles. It's 60 miles if I try to drive it. But they'll be getting freezing weather up there, and it'll be 50 degrees here in where I'm living. Uh, that level of cold, it can't push as quite as far down, because the Gulf current, the way that the Gulf current comes up along. If you look at a map of Texas and you start at the very bottom where it's touching Mexico, Port Isabel, and you bring that all the way up past Corpus Christi, and then it kind of rounds around and comes over and goes past Houston and over to Beaumont and finally out by Orange. That's the way that airflow current goes, and it's a very shallow body of water in comparison to massive bodies of water. The Gulf of Mexico is very shallow, and that Gulf Stream continuing to blow that way, it brings warm, moist air up, and then it takes it east. So we get a lot of humidity here. Even when it's really cold, even when it's below freezing, we get a lot of humidity here in comparison to most places. And a lot of that has to do with the Gulf current, Gulf Coast current. You call it whatever you want to, it's fine. Burley Nut, yes, we did get quite a bit of snow in the Houston area. I would say that this area where I'm at got a decade worth. Yeah, about 1 inch total. That's our decade worth. Anybody else wants to compete with a decade worth of snow being 1 whole inch? Yeah, Houston doesn't see snow very often. And there were several places where they just said, hey, you know what? We are shutting all the roads down. Don't even try to attempt it. Just stay where the heck you are, because it's too dangerous. And I'm kind of glad they do, because we don't have the equipment to handle it. And most of the people who live here don't have any idea what they're doing when they get out on it. Howdy, Steph. Good to see you. Okay, that would be Finland and the country of Georgia, not Finland and the state of Georgia. I got a feeling the state of Georgia might put Finland up for a good run on its money if it came down to just playing basketball. Pretty good amount of those guys out there like to play a good game of ball, whether it's 3-on-3, 1-on-1, 5-on-5, just however it works. Now, I ain't guaranteeing I would actually bet on the state of Georgia over the country of Finland, because, well, let's just say those Vikings grow big and tall. But there's some talent down there in Georgia. Just ask over a pipe next time we see them. Oh, good God. Y'all are going to have more tomatoes and tornadoes. That's just freaking awesome. Mother Nature, in her schizophrenic ways, is trying to kill us all. I got to believe this. Hey, just remember, Biden takes over as president. Less than a month later, hell freezes over. Ooh, plowing snow for 11 straight days. Yeah, we get that cold snap and then boom, it's right back to heat. Like I said, I'm sitting here in t-shirt and shorts. This is actually a summer weight hat. I like wearing it because it's kind of cool. Southern Draw cigars. Yeah, but this is actually a hat that has all the cooling and wicking to keep your head cool in the summertime. This February, I don't get to break out the summer gear every year, but pretty nice. Of course, y'all will remember I would normally in this kind of weather be wearing pants and at least a longer sleeved t-shirt than this. But after all that cold that just recently came through, this is feeling great. This is fantastic. Who needs a jacket or pants? Just get out and enjoy it while you can. Of course, Mother Nature's going to get schizophrenic enough back to here again that we're either going to end up with rain or something else. That first week of April is always cold without actually being cold. Just, it feels miserable cold. First week of April. Always. Always. Don't blame me. I'm just using my memory and the accuracy of what I can remember. Ugh, my hair's looking like I'm going to need a haircut. Or 5 billion hairs cut. However you want to call it. By the way, Steph, thanks for sharing your time with the Rambling Dilettante. It was pretty fun. Tied a record of 13 straight days below 30 degrees. Ugh. Way to go, Boris. Team Finland. Skål! And if any of y'all are watching real close, yes, I do have tattoos. So what? I don't look the type. I know it. Oh, believe me, Steph, I'm not wanting you to change all the time to let him take over. But the people you've picked to be able to do it have really, I mean, because it's been 2 or 3 times, and no big deal. People have stuff to do, especially on Saturdays. But, you know, keeping a program going and being able to say, hey, look, we've found some alternate programming content for you. Please come in and enjoy. And then I liked being able to, you know, let your people know, or at least the people that follow me, I liked being able to let them know, hey, look, this is where we're going. One more last reminder right in front of his show. He didn't understand the tailgate, and that's okay. He didn't understand that I'm throwing a show right in front of his so that I could take everybody with me over to his station. And, you know, it's kind of as a favor to Steph. Steph let me know who was doing it, so I went ahead and set up for that. Oh, nice. Euro final tournament. That puts you on pace to go into the Olympics, shouldn't it? Of course, you'll be up against what? Barcelona, Germany, and France for certain. Though Poland and Czechoslovakia both have decent teams, if I remember correct, but I don't know if Poland and Czechoslovakia are considered part of the Euro tournament or if they are considered part of the Pan-Asia side. I'm not really sure. 25 degrees Fahrenheit. Woo! Boris is having a heat wave. Howdy, Martin. Hey, Martin. Boris was just telling us how Georgia just lost to Finland in a game of basketball. Had to say it again. Sorry, Boris. We know it's the country, not the state. Oh, come on. Georgia are a bunch of winners. As long as they're not up against the Bandit. Czech Republic and Poland is still in the Euro basketball tournament countries. Okay. Okay. Well, cheers to Finland. Good job. Because losers always say they'll try, and winners take the prom queen home. I'm going to just paraphrase that, and I'm not going to actually give the full statement there. But, you know. Holly could have been a prom queen, but she didn't even try out for it. Of course, with that statement said originally in San Francisco, maybe it should have been winners take the drag queen home. Martin, the funny thing is, Gina Carino, if you go back about 2 or 3 years, she was one of those vote blue no matter who, completely almost religious things. Now I remember not following her because of the whole, oh my God, I've got to hate on Republicans. Look, I can understand if you want to vote the way you want to vote, it's fine. I don't mind. But you can't just hate other people because they vote different from you. But then when all of this stuff happened with Disney and the way she was treated after pointing out that, and I'm going to paraphrase what her tweet said that got her canned here in just a second. Howdy, Todd. Glad to see you. Boris, let us know what you're packing. Because, you know, we all want to know. Inquiring minds. Martin, I do agree with you there. I remember a while back when her whole Twitter persona was completely one-sided, and you know, I liked her as an MMA fighter. I liked her as an actress. But her whole hate on anything that's Republican, that kind of threw me off. So somewhere in between there and now, it switched hard. So what got her fired from Disney? She made a factual based statement that in Germany, the media of the time, the political party of the time, made it okay for neighbor to hate neighbor, which made it easier for the Nazis to go ahead and do what they did, including censorship and various other things. That is a paraphrasing of what she put out on a tweet. So Disney fired her for that. She didn't say she was for it or against it. She just pointed out that, look, if you read the history books, this is actually kind of what happened. Well, I definitely will check out her interview. Hey, Martin, if you're saying check out her interview, I will check out her interview. And it could have been just somebody was putting up a fan site for her from a few years ago. I don't know. Got some MB vanilla in a basket pipe with coffee. Coffee is always a good option when it's cold. Coffee and tea, I like both. Would I have, if I was in charge of Disney, no, I would not have fired her for making a political statement that is factual based. Because I do not believe that anybody should be fired for making a political statement that is factual based. Now, if you come out just talking some BS and you are straight up being just completely disrespectful to people, and that's just part of your whole political statement there, then yeah, go ahead, bye, see ya, don't need to be around you. It's like when Megan Fox decided to tell God, who was it? They were filming one of the Transformers movies, and Megan Fox, Spielberg, she told George Spielberg that he was basically being Hitler, and Spielberg said, "And you're fired." Now, is anybody going to sit there and say anything to Spielberg about it? No, because her statement was, you're just as bad as Hitler. But if you know who Spielberg is, you're going to have to really seriously be able to prove that to just say it. Steph, have a good nap. Glad to see you're up and about. Glad you can make it in. Dell, there is no such thing as everything being okay with fact checkers because they all seem to have their own agenda. Howdy, Dave. I know that's OBX. Glad to see you in. I completely agree with you there, Martin. Um, the whole problem there is those cages on the southern border were actually started by the Clinton administration. So it's been Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump, Biden. Here we are. 5 presidents have basically allowed it, so there's going to be nothing that anybody's going to do about it unless they actually decide that they've had enough of this bullshit. And yes, you can go all the way back to the Clinton administration for that. No, they were not there for Bush Sr. Yes, they were there for Bush Jr. They began construction of them, most of them, during the Clinton administration. It's all right there in black and white paper. But there's going to be some fact checkers going to want to tell me that I'm wrong. More have been added by each and every administration. As situations get worse, people are still going to want to do more about getting into the United States of America. If you're in a really bad country, I can understand completely. I don't understand what they think that we're going to be able to do. Right now, there's a bunch of people who are just recently unemployed. All right, Bob. Good having you in. Thanks for coming along. Well, Dell, I'm going to say let the fact checkers come. Because they're really not going to like my next statement. Biden signed an executive order giving China access to the power grid of America. Not just China, there's several other countries that have the technology. They could have access to it. Kind of stupid. Maybe that's just my opinion. Sort of kind of stupid. But funny, suddenly we have this deep freeze, and there's not enough power to keep people in their homes from freezing to death. Somebody can explain that to me, how that was a good move for America, that other countries can have access to our power grid, and then suddenly we can't have power? Explain to me how that exactly works. Hey, Martin, electrician 18 years. Believe me, I know how they can produce power. They can't lie to me. They might be able to lie to the general public, but they didn't lie to me. If I have a conspiracy theory on the whole issue, they found a way to kill off Texans in the hopes that that would kill off gun owners. If I had a conspiracy theory. And you know what? There might be a few gun owners that might have actually lost life in this incident. Most of them hunt. Most of them know how to keep warm out there in the cold. Very few gun owners that are out to be legal gun owners were ultra greatly affected by this whole deep freeze thing. Poor people were affected. Oh, well, you got to kill off enough poor people that you can afford to make the middle class the new poor people when you do what's coming up. Don't worry. Y'all watch what's happening to oil and gas. You'll see it. Y'all remember when back in 2000s when it got up to around $5 a gallon, no matter where you were, except for California, which was probably at $8 a gallon for gas? Except for, of course, there's Dell and there's Boris. They probably would have loved $5 for a whole gallon of gas. I know what some of the prices are over there in England for a gallon of gas, and I know what some of the prices are in some of Europe countries. They pay by the liter, and they're almost the same for a liter as what Americans are for a gallon. Again, spoiled Americans. It's going back to that. We don't have the infrastructure right now to completely go off of oil, natural gas, and coal. Can't do it. Can't be done in America. It will not happen inside of Biden's administration. He's going to have maybe 2 terms, 8 years. No, you're looking at 20 years of production to get even close to being off of oil, gas. Okay. And then even still, we're not going to be completely off of oil and gas. Because you know what goes in those windmills? Oil, grease. You know where those are produced? Exxon. Yeah. Dell, I do believe you are correct. Which is why I've been an advocate for average citizens owning guns for years. And by average citizens, I am not talking just people who have my skin coloring. Black, tan, gray. If the global government is still afraid that the average citizen could still take them out, they tend to walk a whole lot softer. $2 per liter, so 3.86 liters in a gallon. So let's call it almost $8 for a gallon. $8 for a gallon. Hell, you'd love to have $5 a gallon. Dell, I agree with the statement. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that have already given away those rights. Or they let the government come in and take away those rights. And they didn't put up enough of a fight when they should have. I mean, we the people could agree to do anything we damn well wanted to. Problem would be, can we get the government to agree to let us do it? But the government of we the people can start writing laws to make it impossible to do certain things. But quite honestly, they need to remind themselves that we the people could decide that that's not right and scrap it. Oh, they're going to provide cheap, available energy. They're just going to provide it at a ungodly cost. Electricity is actually fairly cheap. But building codes in so many places are completely against what is truly able to happen. I see places where, oh, you can't have solar panels. Why not? Somebody explain to me why you can't have solar panels. $1.88 a liter. So let's call it $7 for a gallon in Helsinki. I'd still take $5 over $7 for a gallon. Let me guess, we should also follow California's example and not do controlled burns and let wildfires get away from us and watch whole areas just burnt to a crisp. Got to remember, one of us on this stream is from California. And as I like to say, the best part about being from California is the word from. As in, no longer there. And then there's those people that move from California to Texas, and the first thing they start doing is they vote again exactly the way things were in California. And the things that made them leave California soon become the way things are done in Texas. And they're going, I don't understand how come things got so bad. We moved to Texas. We kept voting the exact same way we were voting in California. Well, now things are just like California. There you go. And no, it will not be California 2.0 because they still have to completely destroy the whole state of California first. Oh, and California made it so that if you leave California, you have to pay a tax on it now. So that's going to stop that whole leaving California bullshit. Can't afford the taxes to leave anymore. Might as well just wall it off and call it the California Penal Community. I know the only people that should really worry about it are the people that make over $10,000 a month. If you don't make a damn bit of money, what are they going to tax? Nothing from nothing is nothing. But yes, government, all the way throughout time, has been the largest killer of humans ever. Well, I will tell you, Dell, I'm never going to have to worry about that particular fee. If they want it, they can come and try to remove it from me. They know they don't want to. Same thing with, if they want the firearms, they can come and try to remove them from me. But they know they don't want to. Military didn't teach me how to shoot. I knew that way before I went to the military. The only thing they taught me to shoot was humans. And I have yet to start. And I hope to live out my life in a peaceful manner and never have to. But I know how if I need to. Hey, go on down there to the Military Enlistment Processing Station. We call them MEPS. Sign your name on that contract. Raise your right hand, put your other hand on a Bible. They might not do the Bible thing anymore. Swear that oath. You too can be taught all the nasty things you could ever hope to learn about human nature. And you can do it while defending the country that you care for, or at least live in. It's probably pretty much the same on everybody's country. There are a few where you are conscripted immediately. I've actually advocated that the United States should just go ahead and take over the whole process like Israel does. From the day you turn 18, you do 2 years of military or public service duty. 2 years is not really all that much. Now, when you think about it, for those who are career military, they get trained for about 2 straight years. They don't even see combat unless it's absolutely necessary. They do their 2 years. If they join up for more, then they're going to end up in combat areas. But for the most part, you get trained on doing things. Oh, believe me, there's lots of people out here who will be starving. I know how to plant my whole backyard. My whole backyard will look like a crop. All kind of stuff. And if I've got to do that, my neighbors' backyards, all those fences, those are coming down. Because we're going to do nothing but plant food. Anybody who doesn't want to plant food, they end up with a fence. That fence, you know what that means? That means you don't get any of our food. I grew up farming, camping, and hunting, fishing. This little neighborhood I live in, shaped like a horseshoe. Brick houses, concrete walls. Good little place to be. See, Boris, I wouldn't mind if that was just a straight up statement of fact. And people say, oh, but what about the handicapped? They can't do it. You know what? They can do it. There are things that the handicapped can do. They can file paperwork. If they are completely unable to do anything, I can understand how that exemption would be made. Some person with complete and total epilepsy that makes them so that they are completely unfunctioning 90% of the time. I understand how that's not going to work. Okay. But if you consider, right now the United States military does about 6 weeks worth of training. And then they ship people out there to fight wars. If they could take that 6 weeks and turn it into 2 years, you know you're not going to face any war for the first 2 years. You got to actually say, yes, I'm good with this lifestyle. That would change up a whole lot of things. Dell, learn the bow and arrow and learn anything that could be a force multiplier. Spear, atlatl, anything that can make sure that people have to stay a distance away from you because you can get to them before they can get to you. It's either that or become some sort of super savant ninja type person that can literally walk through a cloud and not be touched by any droplet of water. Crossbow will work. Just remember, learn to load quick and shoot accurate. Also, if you're dealing with people with body armor, make sure you know where that armor has weak spots. Because if they show up with guns and you have a crossbow, you're only going to have one shot. Axes, yeah. Machetes, definitely. Steel bar with a sharpened end on it. Axe handle, baseball bat. There's a lot of things you can use. Just practice a little bit. Hey Boris, better a shotgun than no gun. At least with a shotgun, you can stand at one end of a hall and pretty much clear it out. Nobody, I don't care how much body armor you got, I don't care what you think, nobody wants to charge down a hallway at a shotgun. Something that you only have to barely point around the corner and shoot. Nobody wants to charge into that. You might survive it, you might not. But the chances are, even if you do survive it, you're going to not much care for the conditions that you're living in while you have survived it. I mean, countries that have For the safety of the children, we're going to give up the guns. It's not making anybody safe. Because if your government changes just a fraction, it can go from, you're now safe, to you're now a servant. I'm not trying to incite anything. I'm not trying to get people to revolt. I'm just hoping that more and more people hear this message and understand, while you might give no care for guns at all, there are people out there that would stand up in front of you and defend you against your own government, should it ever have to come to that. But if you take away their weapons, they obviously can't do that, so they obviously won't. Well, Del, I swear, it's always, first thing that's said is it's always, for the safety of the children, we're going to limit this or remove this or make this rule, which is going to make harder to get guns. It's always the way it starts. For the safety of the children. Because most people would like to protect the children. Me, I like to tell people, you know, the Germans said the same damn thing to the Jews when they started doing what they were doing, and ask them about the piles of shoes, many of them children's sizes. It's all about the safety of the children. Whose children? The children of the people in charge? That's about it. I mean, Del, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm not trying to talk about y'all's politics at all. Knives are now a problem, and I've seen where people are using battery acid, and they run by and throw a cup of battery acid at somebody. You know, all right, I'm going to say it like this. I probably outweigh Conor McGregor by close on, could be 100 pounds, might only be 80 pounds. Okay, I outweigh him. I'm bigger than he is. I'm physically bigger than Conor McGregor is. But I don't for a single second believe I could jump in there and whoop his ass. So now let's look at it from my point of view of, I'm for women's rights. I believe women should own a firearm. Because most women my size could not stand up to a one-on-one with me. Just like I don't think that I could stand up to a one-on-one with, let's go with somebody who's more my size. Randy Couture, who's much older than me, but I'm fairly certain could still whoop my ass in a heartbeat. How about Chuck Liddell? Chuck Liddell's my size, And I'm pretty certain I'd just be laid out pretty quick. Rampage Jackson, yeah, pretty much the same difference. I'm in that 200 and something range. I'm in their weight class. I should be able to hold my own until they hit me that first time, and then I'm out cold. Women who go in having to fight guys one-on-one are at that kind of same disadvantage. Now, if it's Ronda Rousey, Holly Holmes, Amanda Nunes, okay, yeah, you might have a chance. You might still go down swinging, but you're probably getting roughed up pretty good. It's a very, very small percentage of the population of women are that good. Not saying that there's no women that are that good, just saying that a very, very small percentage of the women on the planet are that good. But let's see. 50 feet, she's got a 9mm, and I've got my bare hands. I guarantee I'm walking away. I guarantee any nefariously minded person is walking away. They don't want to get shot. They know they ain't going to make it there without getting shot. Probably once, maybe twice, and it could be fatal. And there's my biggest reason for women owning guns. Turns every man they ever meet into a gentleman because nobody wants to get shot. Really? So, if I had this knife, which does not really have a sharp point unless I hold it just right, the police are still going to throw a fit on me. Well, see, there's another situation. We all get old. How well do you think a 65 to 80-year-old is going to do against a 30-year-old? If they were trained and stayed in physical shape, yeah, they might hold out pretty good. But that's really still a very small percentage of the population. That one would be illegal. Remind me not to go to Europe. Well, at least not London. That's the least lethal knife that I've got. And I pretty much don't walk around without at least one, sometimes 3. I've been known to carry as many as 8. When I was in the Army, they said it'd be safer to face a firing squad than me with a knife. Pretty good with them. Trained. Some I taught myself. Some I learned from bad experiences. Hell, it's going to get to the point where you can't buy a butter knife without having a license in England. Oh, the knife, Gerber multi-tool. It's called the Crucial. It's only got 5 tools. Nothing about it screams, oh my God, deadly weapon. It is literally just a tool. Any police department tries to tell me that it's illegal, I'm going to tell them that they are tools. course, here in Texas, I could carry a full-on claymore, battle sword, broadsword, however you want to call it. I could strap it to my back and walk down the street and wouldn't nobody say a damn thing. I could put a machete on each side. I could have a Bowie knife hanging from anywhere I wanted to. Howdy, Mike. Glad to see you. Now look, I have a kitchen knife that has a blunt end. It's a vegetable chopper. Made by Cutco. Damn good knife. Great for vegetables. I don't want to use it for trying to core a strawberry. I'm still going to need that kind of a knife. Mike, I will agree with you entirely. In the right hands, any stick I pick up could be used to lethal effect. Walk past a park. Oh, look, there's a twig on the ground. They don't know. Pencil with a sharpened point makes a terrific stabbing weapon if you know what you're doing. Even better is if you can whip those knitting needles out. Everybody thinks, knitting needle? Suckers are sharp. You can get metal knitting needles. Somebody be looking like Swiss cheese, full of holes. I agree, Mike does not need to be sharp. But they look at you funny if you're pulling out chopsticks on a plane. They have never looked at me funny when I pull out a ball of yarn and some knitting needles and I just set to work. They never even think about it. It never even crosses their mind that these things could be seriously used to become lethal. Oh yeah, tons of soft tissue areas. Really would not allow knitting needles. Well, I guess it looks a little bit different if you have some pre-arranged knitting already on the needles. I have had pins confiscated. But if you tell them, hey, look, I'm afraid of heights, and the knitting needles help to soothe me and calm me down because I'm just going to sit here and knit a hat. they don't even look at them. They're just like, cool, whatever. Have a good day, sir. They kind of look at you like you might be a little limp in the wrist, but hey, you know what? I'm not. Pipe cleaners? Holy Christ. Of course, when they do the background check on to see if I would ever be a threat to like the whole plane, they get flagged that this guy's clear. So, check for stiffness. I'll have to remind myself of that and ask for a woman checker. Make sure I find something with some stiffness. Knowing me, they'd set the ugliest woman alive on me. Well, okay. I'll just have to remind myself of that and walk across the border next time I can get to Canada. Of course, it won't help that the 30-06 will be in luggage somewhere. I figure the next time I go to Canada, I'm going to at least try to get a moose. Definitely waiting for COVID to end before that, because I am not sitting in a hotel under quarantine for 14 days just so I can do a 3-day hunting trip. That's actually 3 days from the time I hit the area where I would be hunting. That's not travel up there one day, go hunting for a day, and travel back. Just that's travel up there one day, get into the area, and then start 3 days. Hopefully, finish the hunt, travel back out, get the meat processed, and then get home. Wow, so, God, air travel's getting stupider. Oh, well, I get checked anyways going through there because all that metal in my knee, keeping that kneecap wired together, is going to set off some sensors. It's funny. Houston, the airports I go to in Houston, they know me well enough that they're like, come on. They'll let me do the stand up hard object scanner, and they see that it flags on my knee every time. And they'll just reach down and go. But they know me. They've seen me enough times. And I always let them know ahead of time, look, I'm coming through. Y'all are going to end up with this scan just like normal. So they're always prepared. Of course, knowing that it's going to set off bells and whistles, I go ahead and I warn them about it first because, hey, there's no reason to kill all of that time just by being stupid and not telling y'all, hey, it's going to happen. My wife also had a knee replacement. And so if we're traveling together, that's even funnier because she'll go through first. And they'll almost always drag her to the other area to go pat her down. Whereas me, they're like, okay, go through. Never fails. Of course, I was in the military and she was not. So it could be that there's some background there that's been officially reported one way or the other. And I've had more than a few FBI checks. Could be that I was inoculated for most common, easy to handle bad things. Anthrax being one of them. You do not want to go through the anthrax inoculation if you don't have to. And for anybody who says that they've had the COVID shot, have a good one, Mike. I won't be here for very, very much longer, but you be careful. We'll see you soon. Dell, I would suggest getting Boris's address and going to visit Finland or Estonia. I hear that in Estonia, those prices are quite a bit cheaper. Back in 5 minutes. I'm not sure I won't be here in 5 minutes. I'll be here. Fine. Whatever. Right? Can't visit anywhere at the moment. I understand that. Well, as soon as y'all can start visiting Houston, y'all need to come this direction, because dead straight serious, I will take you to a place you will be amazed at the prices of cigars. You might have to smoke the ones that you get right there, but it'll be worth it. Okay, there won't be any Cubans. And y'all want to not show up in August. It's hot in August. You don't want to be here in August. Hell, I don't even want to be here in August. Yeah, Boris, like I said, I ever get to Finland, I'm paying. We're taking that ferry. We're going to Estonia. You bring your money for your cigars, and I'm paying for the trip over there, and I'll bring money for my cigars. We'll smoke good. I don't even know what the price for the ferry over is, but you said it's like a 4-hour ferry just to get to Estonia from Finland? Are you allowed to smoke a pipe on the ferry? Like at the very back, or is there a deck somewhere where you're allowed to? I've seriously considered it. I don't get seasick. course, I haven't been out of the country in so long. I would need to like way update my passport. Hey, y'all remember I shaved like back in January. This is all that's grown since then. Well, then, Boris, you and I would be good, man. We would set up and do a. I would figure out a way to get enough power so that we could do a full live stream on the whole ferry over and back. Two guys chatting. Would probably completely blow the minds of the YTPC. A 4-hour live stream. Unfortunately, somebody's already claimed the name There and to Back Again. Wouldn't matter how much ferry costs. If you didn't have to pay for the ferry, that's what, one more cigar that you could get? I'm not so mean to sit there and say that us spoiled Americans aren't going to be nice when we show up at somebody else's country and say, hey, we're kidnapping you to go buy cigars. That's how you'd probably be feeling, except for the fact that I'd contact you well in advance and say, hey, look, this is what time I'm going to be there. This is the day I'm showing up. I got a hotel room already booked unless you're saying just stay at your house. I wouldn't suggest that. I snore, so of course I would be saying I will just stay in a hotel. I'm betting they have Marriotts and Hiltons, and I've got enough points. I bet you I could stay. Really? About $10? Damn. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. I thought it'd be closer to like 50 or 60. Probably is 50 or 60 if you're wanting like preferential treatment. Welcome back, Dell. Which kind of tea today? Hey, if the tin is not available, the tin is not available. If I can afford to fly all the way to Finland just to go buy Cuban cigars in Estonia, I'm not really going to be worried about what the price for the ferry is. It's about $1,500 to get a flight into Finland right now from Houston. That's with COVID. Might go up or down either way. Me, I've just got some black coffee. Black coffee. Now, it's a store brand from my local store right here. but it's called Snicker Nut Cookie. It does not taste like a cookie, though. When you grind the beans yourself, it doesn't taste like a cookie. If you get it in the K-Cup, it tastes a lot like a cookie. Dell, I'm not sure that Estonia is allowing immigration at present. I know Poland does not allow immigration at all unless you are a Polish national, or you can prove Polish descent. I might be able to prove like 1/18th Polish descent or something like that, but I don't think that that's actually enough for Polish immigration. That, and I hear Poland really got hit hard by the COVID thing. But I've heard Finland is marvelously low as far as COVID goes. I have to believe that that's probably because of a lower density of population and the restrictions that normal weather causes people to have. Soon as your Chateau de Estonia is built or is started, let me know. I'll come over and do all the electricity for you. We'll make it fairly cheap. I can just stay there and work. Smoke a cigar when I get off. Oh, yeah. Completely understood there, Boris. It would probably be the only time of year that I could visit Finland is in your summertime. Any other time of the year, I'd have to wear the whole Stay Puft Marshmallow suit like I did last Tuesday. God, I'm not really set up for the cold. I don't think I'm ever going to be set up for the cold. But I'd leave here in 100-degree weather and show up there and it'd be 60-degree weather and I'd be like, it's cold. Be the only person there wearing a jacket and long sleeve shirts and pants. And everybody would be saying, what are you going to do when it gets cold? Exactly. The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and the Michelin guy, they look exactly the same, except for one's got a sailor's hat, I think. But yes, the Michelin tire guy, same thing. I think they were designed by the same exact person. At least that's my supposition. Well, all right, I've smoked this all the way out. Here I am, an hour and a half in. Been great hanging out with y'all. Just wanted to let y'all know, yes, it actually does get up in temperatures that are normal for Houston exactly as quick as I predicted. 50-degree jump in temperature. Makes you feel right at home, doesn't it? Yes, pipe building is going to start again in earnest. I didn't feel like doing it today. My back's a little tender, and it's got me more of a mood to just sit and be kind of calm instead of standing and really working. And I've never found that I was any good at sitting and working. Maybe if I was just whittling. But yes, I am definitely, if the warm weather will continue, I should be doing some more with the pipe. Well, in the next couple of days, definitely. And I do plan on putting at least some of it to the camera, whether it's on a live filming thing or not. I'm definitely considering both options. Ooh, like snooker. Yeah, I think today that's really just the best case of it. It's for defrosting. It's for letting this warmth seep in so that I can have it, so that when it does get cold again, I can still remember, hey, look, it's just going to be temporary. So, she's out. I'm not going to load another bowl right now. Gentlemen, and any ladies who might happen to be on here, it's been my pleasure having y'all around. I'm sorry that y'all are feeling like I might be gloating about my hot weather today. It's not intentional. I really hope to see y'all soon out of the snow for your own selves. And I'll probably be on again tomorrow. So we will see you then. Y'all take care. As always, remember, take care of yourselves, take care of each other as best you can. And remember, long lives, big bowls, and long ashes. Y'all take care, and I will see you soon.